Welcome, dear listeners. Today we explore a profound concept that affects every aspect of our lives yet often remains unnoticed: the veil of ignorance. This invisible barrier shapes how we perceive reality, influencing our thoughts, actions, and ultimately, our spiritual journey. Imagine for a moment that you are standing before a thick fog. This fog represents the veil of ignorance. It clouds your vision, preventing you from seeing the path ahead clearly. Everything you think you know about the world, your beliefs about right and wrong, your perceptions of others, all these are filtered through this veil. But what if I told you that this veil could be lifted? What would you see then? How would your perception of reality change? The veil of ignorance operates on several levels. First, it affects our self-awareness. Many of us go through life with a set of beliefs that we accept without question. These beliefs about who we are and what we are capable of achieving often limit us more than we realize. We accept these limits without questioning their validity because the veil obscures our true potential. Here's a practical example. Think about the last time you faced a significant challenge. Perhaps you thought, "I can't handle this," or "this is too much for me." These thoughts are products of the veil, a conditioned response that doesn't necessarily reflect your true capabilities. Now, imagine approaching the same situation without these preconceived notions. How might your approach change if you believed, without a doubt, that you could handle any challenge that comes your way? This brings us to a critical question. How often do we limit ourselves by adhering to outdated beliefs and narratives that no longer serve us? This question is not just rhetorical. It invites us to look deeply into the mirrors of our minds and recognize the patterns that hold us back. Moving deeper into the concept of the veil of ignorance, let's consider how it affects our understanding of others. This veil doesn't just obscure our self-perception. It also distorts how we see those around us. It can lead to misunderstandings, judgments, and conflicts. We often see others not as they are, but as we are, our perceptions colored by our personal biases and experiences. To illustrate, think about a recent disagreement or misunderstanding you had with someone. What assumptions did you make about that person's intentions? Now consider the possibility that your assumptions might have been influenced by the veil, by your past experiences, fears, or expectations. Recognizing this can be the first step toward more compassionate and open interactions with others. But how do we begin to lift this veil? The first step is awareness. We must become conscious of the fact that the veil exists. This awareness alone can be transformative. It allows us to question our perceptions and beliefs actively. It invites us to consider that there may be more to the situation or to a person than meets the eye. Another powerful tool for lifting the veil is mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment. This practice helps us to identify when we are viewing the world through the distorting lens of the veil. It also empowers us to choose our responses rather than reacting out of habit or conditioning. Mindfulness can be practiced in many ways, such as through meditation, mindful walking, or simply by bringing full attention to whatever task we are performing. The key is consistency. The more we practice mindfulness, the thinner the veil becomes, and the clearer our perception of reality turns. As we conclude this first part of our exploration, I invite you to reflect on the concept of the veil of ignorance and how it might be affecting your life. Are there areas where you might be seeing through a fog of outdated beliefs or assumptions? What might change if you could lift the veil even slightly in these areas? Lifting the veil. The power of authentic connection. As we continue our exploration of the veil of ignorance and its profound impact on our lives, we now turn our attention to the transformative power of authentic connection. This concept not only deepens our understanding of ourselves, but also enhances our interactions with the world around us. Authentic connection begins with self-transparency. To connect genuinely with others, we must first connect with ourselves. This means confronting and accepting our vulnerabilities, fears, and imperfections. It's about being honest about who we are and what we feel. Imagine for a moment living without the need to mask your true self. How liberating would that be? How would it change the way you interact with others? When we embrace our true selves, we lower the barriers that the veil of ignorance creates between us and the world. This authenticity invites others to do the same, fostering deeper, more meaningful relationships. It is through these relationships that we can further lift the veil as we are exposed to diverse perspectives and experiences that challenge our preconceived notions. Consider the relationships in your life. Think about a time when someone shared something truly personal with you. How did that make you feel? Often, when someone entrusts us with their vulnerabilities, we feel closer to them, and our empathy and understanding grow. This is the veil lifting, allowing us to see beyond our subjective biases and connect with the reality of another person's experience. However, achieving this level of connection is not always easy. It requires courage. It involves stepping into the unknown and being open to being changed by our interactions. This is where we encounter resistance, often because of fear of being judged, misunderstood, or rejected. Here, the veil of ignorance acts not only as a blindfold but also as a shield, protecting us from potential hurt, but also isolating us from potential growth. To overcome this resistance, we must cultivate courage. Courage does not mean the absence of fear, but rather the willingness to act despite fear. It's about choosing to be genuine and open, even when it feels risky. And it's about trusting that the authenticity of our actions will lead to deeper, more genuine connections. One practical way to cultivate courage is by setting small, manageable goals for openness in our interactions. For example, you might decide to share a personal feeling or thought with a friend or colleague, even if it makes you slightly uncomfortable. Each small act of courage builds your confidence and makes it easier to be more open in the future. Another aspect of fostering authentic connections is active listening. Active listening involves fully concentrating on what is being said rather than just passively hearing the message of the speaker. It includes listening with all senses and giving full attention to the speaker. This practice helps us to understand better the perspectives of others, reducing misunderstandings and conflicts that the veil often causes. Active listening also requires us to be present in the moment, another key aspect of mindfulness. By being fully present, we can engage more deeply and notice the subtle nuances of our interactions, which often go unnoticed when we are distracted or preoccupied. As we wrap up this segment, reflect on the relationships and interactions in your life. How might they improve if you approach them with greater authenticity and courage? How might your perception of others change if you engaged in active listening more consistently? In the next part of our discussion, we will delve into another critical aspect of lifting the veil of ignorance, expanding our horizons through learning and new experiences. This not only broadens our understanding of the world, but also challenges the preconceptions that keep the veil in place. Beyond the boundaries, embracing new perspectives to shatter illusions. In our ongoing quest to lift the veil of ignorance that clouds our perception of reality, we now explore the expansive power of embracing new perspectives and experiences. This step is crucial for anyone seeking to deepen their understanding of the world and themselves. When we step outside our familiar environments and engage with new ideas, cultures, and experiences. We challenge the existing frameworks that define our understanding of the world. Each new encounter acts as a mirror reflecting back to us aspects of ourselves and the world that were previously hidden or distorted by the veil. Think about the last time you experienced something entirely outside your usual routine. Perhaps it was traveling to a new country, learning a new language, or simply engaging in a conversation with someone from a different background. Recall the mixture of excitement, apprehension, and curiosity. This blend of emotions is the breeding ground for growth and insight. It's where we begin to question and expand the narratives we've held about who we are and what the world is. These experiences are powerful because they introduce us to complexities and diversities that our usual environments might not offer. They force us to reconsider our assumptions and prejudices. For instance, interacting with a diverse group of people can reveal the common humanity that runs deeper than the superficial differences that often divide us. However, embracing new perspectives is not merely about physical exploration. It also involves intellectual and emotional exploration. Reading books, watching films, and engaging in discussions that challenge our worldview are all ways to expose ourselves to different perspectives. Each book, each film, each conversation can be a tool to pry at the edges of the veil, letting light into previously dark corners of our understanding. One effective method to integrate this practice into your life is through what I call perspective challenges. Set yourself a challenge to learn something new about a culture, belief system, or philosophy that is unfamiliar to you. Approach this learning experience with openness and curiosity rather than judgment. As you learn, reflect on how this new knowledge might alter your previous perceptions. What biases might it reveal? What new understanding might it foster? Moreover, engaging with perspectives that contrast starkly with our own can be particularly enlightening. It requires us to cultivate a mental flexibility that is essential for personal growth. It teaches us to hold our beliefs lightly and to appreciate the fluidity of truth. This mental flexibility is a critical tool in lifting the veil, as it allows us to adapt and refine our understanding in the face of new information. Yet, it is essential to approach this exploration with a balance of humility and critical thinking. Humility allows us to accept that our current understanding of the world is incomplete and possibly incorrect. Critical thinking ensures that we do not accept every new idea uncritically, but rather integrate new information in a way that enhances our understanding. As we conclude this part of our journey, consider the ways in which you might actively seek out and engage with new perspectives. Reflect on how these experiences could enrich your understanding of the world and yourself. How might they help you see beyond the veil that limits your perception? In the final part of our discussion, we will explore how integrating these new perspectives can lead to a more profound transformation in how we live and interact with the world around us. This integration is the ultimate test of whether we have truly begun to lift the veil or merely peeked beneath it. Transcending the veil, a new paradigm for living. As we approach the culmination of our exploration into the veil of ignorance, we turn our focus towards integration, the process of weaving the insights and perspectives we've gained into the fabric of our daily lives. This transformative journey not only involves seeing beyond the veil, but also acting upon the new truths we have discovered. Integration is where theory meets practice. It's where the abstract insights gained from new experiences and perspectives manifest in concrete actions and decisions. This is the stage at which personal transformation becomes visible to ourselves and to others, influencing our relationships, our work, and our contributions to the world. To start, Integration requires a commitment to ongoing reflective practice. Reflection allows us to continuously assess how our new understandings are shaping our attitudes and behaviors. It involves asking ourselves challenging questions. How are these new perspectives influencing my decisions? Am I living in a way that is more aligned with my values? How am I contributing to the world with my newfound knowledge? A practical approach to reflective practice is maintaining a journal. Regular entries not only help in crystallizing thoughts, but also in tracking the evolution of our beliefs and behaviors over time. This can be incredibly rewarding and insightful, providing a tangible measure of our growth. Integration also demands authenticity, living in accordance with our true selves and the truths we have uncovered. This means making choices that are aligned with our values, even when they challenge the status quo or our comfort zones. It involves standing for what we believe in, even when it is inconvenient or unpopular. For example, if through your explorations, you've developed a deep concern for environmental issues, living authentically might mean making changes to your lifestyle, reducing waste, choosing sustainable products, or even advocating for environmental policies. Each choice is a thread in the new tapestry of your life, colored by the insights you have gained. Another crucial aspect of integration is community. We are social beings, and the changes we undergo are more sustainable and impactful when supported by a community. Building or joining a community of like-minded individuals can provide encouragement, challenge our thinking, and amplify our impact. Look for or create groups, clubs, or forums that resonate with your new perspectives. Engaging with these communities can reinforce your growth and provide opportunities to share your journey, learning from others, and contributing your insights. Finally, integration is an ongoing process of learning and adaptation. The world is dynamic, and new information might prompt us to reassess our understandings and approaches. The willingness to adapt based on new evidence or better arguments is essential for true wisdom. It's a lifelong commitment to growth, not a destination, but a journey. As we close this series on lifting the veil of ignorance, remember that the journey does not end here. Each day offers new opportunities to see more clearly, to learn more deeply, and to live more truly. The veil can be lifted, not all at once, but gradually, through continued effort and genuine engagement with the world. Reflect on how far you have come in understanding and challenging the constraints that the veil imposed on you. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and set your sights on new horizons. You are equipped now, not just to see beyond the veil, but to lead others through it. Are you ready to step forward into this new paradigm for living, continuously evolving and expanding your horizons? Let this not be the end, but a new beginning in your journey of enlightenment and transformation.